Weekend reading may get a boost as libraries could reopen tomorrow.
And the Conservatives get their scissors ready for today's federal budget announcement. Humber News starts now.
Hello, it's Thursday, March 29th. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Center here at the North Campus. I'm Kate Foster. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm J.R. Bailey. Ahead on our show, we have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Kate has our top story.
Finance Minister Jim Flaherty will introduce the new Conservative budget plan at 4 p.m. today, and there's rampant speculation about what it will contain. It's the first time the Conservatives are introducing a budget while holding a majority government. Cuts are expected to be in the $4 to $6 billion range. Other measures may include delaying old age security until age 67, pensions for MPs may be scaled back, changes to the way the National Research Council is funded, and an overhaul to the $3.5 billion research and development tax credit is expected. Flaherty is trying to downplay the significance of the cuts, saying Canadians will not feel the loss of government services or programs.
Provincial NDP leader Andrea Horwath has announced she will lay out her demands for amendments to the Liberals' budget Monday. It is speculated that adding a cap on compensation for public sector executives is a top priority for the NDP. Horwath and her party hold the swing vote, with the Liberals and Conservatives facing off over the tabled budget. If her demands are not met, Ontarians could be heading back to the polls sooner rather than later.
Toronto drivers are coughing up more cash today. Gas prices climbed overnight to their highest point in almost a year. Humber reporter Andrea Hall has the details.
They're the highest gas prices Toronto drivers have seen since last May. Some GTA pumps reached $1.39.9, while the average across the city jumped almost 3 cents overnight. Toronto prices are more than 5 cents above the national average today. That's compared to a year ago when Toronto and Canadian averages were within half a cent of each other. There's no shortage of Humber drivers, and higher prices at the pumps put a strain on already tight student budgets. For those not willing to ditch the wheels, there are ways to cut down on your fuel costs. Master Mechanic is on Finch, just up the street from Humber. Jerry Compercio is a service manager there. He says there's a few tricks to help drivers improve gas mileage.
The main things are car maintenance, keeping your tires inflated, and just driving a little slower.
Compercio also says swapping winter tires for all seasons when the weather warms up can boost fuel economy. And with rising costs of gas, Compercio says customers are concerned with keeping their cars well maintained.
They've seen how much more it can cost if their car's not getting the best fuel mileage they can, so they do ask about it, to make sure the air filters are better, or they're changed and the tire pressures are kept up and stuff. So I guess we've seen a bit of an increase in that, yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no relief in sight for drivers. Some analysts predict gas prices in Toronto could reach an all-time high of $1.47 by the end of April. Andrea Hall, Humber News.
Thanks, Andrea. Toronto's inside workers are split on accepting the city's final contract offer. 2 union units accepted the deal. Part-time recreation workers and long-term care workers voted against it. The care workers are an essential service and will enter arbitration with the city in an attempt to reach a new agreement. City negotiators are meeting today about recreation workers who could still go on strike. If they do go out, it will affect programs at community centers, swimming pools, and fitness centers.
Bookworms have good news as Toronto libraries could reopen as early as Friday. Library workers will vote today on a tentative agreement reached by the union and the city. Workers have been without a contract since December 31st. The strike began nearly 2 weeks ago, closing all 98 Toronto Public Library branches. Dropbox were closed during the strike, so be sure to return any borrowed books to avoid late fees.
You might be surprised by how many Canadians support the country's sex trade workers. A Forum research poll released by the Toronto Sun shows 47% of Canadians approve the recent court decision to legalize brothels. 36% say they oppose the idea. The landmark decision by the Ontario Court of Appeal on Monday struck down laws that ban the operation of brothels.
Vindaloo. Vindaloo. That's the winning word for 12-year-old Jennifer Mong. The St. John's student is all the buzz after taking top honors at the 2012 Postmedia CanSpell National Spelling Bee. Mong says she studied the word a week before and was excited when it was announced as her final challenge. Her title comes with a $7,500 prize. Spelling Night in Canada airs at 7:30 Sunday on CBC.
When we come back, we'll have more news from across the country and around the world. Amy Weinstein will have the sports news, and we'll have your weather forecast with Justin Irwin.
You thought we were past the winter weather. You are in for a lovely surprise. I'll have your 5-day weather forecast after the break.